And so the play begins with the Duke deciding, after 14 years of being in charge and obviously not enforcing the laws that are on the books, he decides that he's going to step away and let someone else be in charge to lay down the law. He disguises himself to kind of see how that all plays out, but he puts the city in the hands of the character of Angelo, who is a real stickler and starts enforcing these laws. And one of those laws is that it is illegal to have premarital sex. And so we have a character named Claudio who has gotten his girlfriend pregnant, and so he is hauled off to jail and is going to be executed. And his sister, who is just about to take her vows to become a nun, comes and makes her case to Angelo to please be merciful and spare her brother. And what happens to Angelo is that he falls for this young nun and puts this question to her that yes, he will spare her brother if she agrees to sleep with him. So it's this strange, complex, hypocritical moment that happens, and all of the action takes off from there. It's a very dark comedy. There is humor in it, for sure, but someone else kind of gave it that title of a problem play. And it's, again, it's like at that time that he was writing, in the early 1600s, he was writing All's Well That Ends Well, Troilus and Cressida, and Measure for Measure, and they're all kind of termed problem plays, not because he had a problem writing them, but because they're difficult to classify, and because the problems in the play are very complex. And I love that about it. It's the kind of plays that they raise more questions than they immediately answer. It leaves the audience trying to decide, trying to answer a question instead of answering a question for them. The challenge of the play is that these are characters that have to come right up and confront their own ideas of themselves. And so I'm interested in the journey and what they learn. I think there's something that's very contemporary about this story. I think the themes are really potent. I think, as we were talking about before, that the problem play raises a lot of questions that then the audience can discuss in the car on the way home, and maybe debate a little bit. What would you do if you were in someone else's shoes? And finding, I think, the complexities of that instead of making it black and white, that there's a lot of gray area in this play. But for this particular play, in this particular place, in the Adams Theater, we wanted to be very faithful to the time period. So we're definitely sticking in the silhouette of 1604, but we're trying to be a little bit looser. I didn't want it to feel like a dusty costume drama, like, come back with me to 1604 and see how these people lived. I really want to feel like 1604 is leaping out and grabbing the audience, but we're making the Vienna of the time be, you know, like the paint is peeling and the weeds are growing, so that there's just something that the moral decay just shows itself. The gold leaf is flaking off. So I think that scenically, and I think that all of that will make it feel a little bit more contemporary. This play isn't done that often, so I think it's a great opportunity to see one of Shakespeare's problem plays and decide for yourself what that means. I think it's very relevant. It's a very exciting, thought-provoking, beautiful verse, wonderful characters. I think that people can really relate to not only the character of Isabella, but the journeys of a lot of these characters.